Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Dane, your host. I hope you're doing well wherever you may find yourselves, and welcome to my unboxing and review / critique of the new Whitesnake box set called Into the Light, the solo albums revisited, remixed, and remastered. We'll talk about what Coverdale means by revisited, so I'm going to let me show you this one more time. This is just, you can't read it, but this is a listing of everything I like when they do that. So I took the lid off. You get a poster. It is of the first solo album. Pretty cool. I don't think I'll hang it up. I may not. I still have a Rush poster I want to put up. Now, before we look at the discs, let me show you the booklet. It's the front. There's the back. The inside is the same as the back here. I've read all of this. It didn't take very long, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm not going to show you everything. Don't want to spoil everything. This is kind of cool. This is North Wind's album art. It's really cool. When he had cut his hair back in 2000. Another shot of that. That's how I grew my hair in high school, and that was too long for the all-boys school that I went to. There's some of the band members for the Into the Light sessions. Making of, if you will. There's some more. And then you start to get towards the back the track listings for each disc. More of that. Then you get the credits for said albums. I'll skip some of that. Then I read this as well. Then you get the audio restoration of the 3 solo albums, the complicated process of using decoding software in general, that kind of thing. I'll say more of that in a minute. What I really like here is you get all the song lyrics, finally. Here. Here, and here, and here. I've listened to all 6 discs, some songs more than once. There's more song lyrics, but I think that's enough. And you get the North Wind's cover again here, and the back yellow stuff, as I said, was at the front. So this is a very nice book that I highly recommend before you listen to anything. Give this a read. It won't take you long, maybe 30 minutes tops. I think it took me about that long, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. So this is one of the best booklets I've ever read. It's not overbearingly long. It's got some nice stuff. Coverdale never uses the band name Uriah Heep, but he does hint at them and how he auditioned for them. We all know that, us Coverdale Whitesnake fans, and I was always under the impression that Uriah Heep, after the auditions, liked David's voice, but thought he wouldn't fit with the band. But it's implied here that's the other way around, because David says something along the lines that I knew that I would form my own band. So make of that what you will. Now let's look at the discs, and then we'll talk about the music and some other stuff. So here's the first disc. This is disc 1. This is the Into the Light 2024 remix. So this is a new version of Into the Light. Then disc 2 is this. Of course, tells you what it is on the back. It is additional remixes and demos, then unfinished symphonies, David Coverdale with Tony Franklin, all instrumental stuff, and then the last section, 18 through 20, are original demos, David Coverdale with Tony Franklin again. Okay. So you have 2 discs that involve Into the Light. There's a third. Then you get North Winds. Okay, this is disc 3. Get all the tracks from the original, but you get 2 extra versions of Time and Again. There are 3 in all. There's the strings version, which is the original version. There's the piano version and the strings version, or strings only version. I'm not sure what the difference between strings version and strings only. I'll admit I did not listen to the strings only version here. I did listen to the other 2. This is the 2020. I meant to lead with this for this one. This is the 2024 remix. So this is not the original tape. We'll get to that in a minute. So again, 2024 remix, new remix version of North Winds. Then you get the debut. It's got the Roman numerals here, 1977, 2024 remix, all the 9 tracks we know from the original, and then it's got Young Lads Blues, David Coverdale's 1968 home demos. I'll talk about that as well. Then you get the 2024 remaster, not remix, the original mix, but it's remastered 2024. I'll have something to say about this as well. Okay. Then you get the 2024 remasters. I showed you the remix. These are the remasters of both Whitesnake and North Winds in one CD. And since this is the last one, let me show you what the discs look like. They all look like this, with the snakeskin and then the logo, and then it tells you what disc and what's on it. So I'm not going to pull any of the other ones out. Now, let me talk with you for a bit about why I bought this. I have the first 2 solos albums, Whitesnake and North Winds, on CD already. Here it is. I bought this as soon as I could, give or take. I originally had North Winds and Whitesnake on vinyl in one collection right out of high school. I found it's a white, and it's got this on the cover, but it's got a big white border around it, and it's got North Winds on the back with a white border around it, something to that effect, or it's on the inside, and it's got some liner notes. It's a gatefold. It's really nice. I wish I still had it, but thanks Hurricane Katrina for destroying all my vinyl. So eventually I moved to CDs, and I get this. It's called David Coverdale, the early years, 76, 77, Whitesnake, North Winds, double CD plus 4 bonus tracks. And those bonus tracks are Shame the Devil and Sweet Mistreater, alternate versions thereof. I fell in love with this when I got it on vinyl. I fell in love with these 2 solo albums when I found it, as I said, in high school. And to this day, 2 of my favorite solo albums of all time from one of my favorite vocalists of all time. So one of the reasons I bought this was I was curious. I wanted to hear what the remixes would sound like. I'll critique that in a little bit, as I promised. I also very excited to hear the original mix remastered and compare it, to this. Hoping for, something that will be, for me personally, the definitive edition, as hopefully it will be for you. That's if you're in that kind of thing. And in addition, I brought out this Russell's Heart. This is the updated version, the 25th anniversary edition, because the original version lacked punch, it lacked oomph, it lacked just overall resonance, and so very disappointing. And then when I heard that this was coming out, I didn't get it immediately, and then I get it, And boy, does this make a difference. The punch has returned. The remixing of it and adding crunchy guitars is the heavy Whitesnake that we know and love. So this is the definitive edition for many of us. And so the reason I'm mentioning that is because I was hoping, one of the reasons I bought it, in addition to the solo works of the first two solo works, is I was hoping for that they would do Into the Light with the Restless Heart treatment. Give it the resonance and the punch and the heaviness that it deserves. So let's talk about that. Did they do the Restless Heart treatment? Yes and no. And what I mean by that is if you listen to the original version of Into the Light, and I have to admit that original version I thought was lackluster, okay, decent, there's some good guitar work, there's some heaviness to it, but the production I thought was flat. And so there wasn't that oomph. So when I say, did they give it the Restless Heart treatment? Yes and no. No, because they didn't, at least to my understanding, add any heavy or more crunchy guitar. All they did was they worked with it, the guitar, the heaviness that was there that was just flat, and then made it resonant. So they did and didn't do the Restless Heart treatment. If you listen to the two next to each other, or rather, if you listen to them back to back, you're going to see a big difference with the remixed version. Now, I'll say more about that in a minute. I don't want to get ahead of myself. So now, keep in mind that two of the songs on this box set were on the original Into the Light CD, the third solo effort. Too Many Tears. I'm sorry, I take that back. Not Too Many Tears. River Song, which is a tribute to Jimi Hendrix, and With All of My Heart, which was written for his wife, which Covered, as I said, is one of the best songs that he's ever written. I do like it. I don't think it's one of the best songs he ever written, but I do like it. I love River Song. That's one of my favorite songs on Into the Light. And then, of course, Too Many Tears is also in this collection, and I love the song, but I question why, because it's already here. So I'm not sure what the rationale for that. That's just a minor criticism. Now, let's turn to something in the booklet. Let's go to page 31, because I think this is very important, and you'll see what I mean in a second. We're talking about the decoding of the software. Well, it's not page 31. Anyway, what I was going to say is, sorry, let me get to the decoding stuff. Sorry, I lost my place. Sometimes I write the wrong page numbers down. I'm loving that they have the song lyrics here. Okay, so here is the how they were able to remix stuff. And so you have a section about Into the Light, North Winds, and then, of course, the remix of Whitesnake, 1977. And then there's a video and image restoration comment. These are some long quotes from one of the chief sound engineers, Tom Gordon, and then chief videographer, Peyton Murphy. But what's interesting is if you read this, and I'll tell you a little hint, I don't want to give everything away, is that as far as the first solo album goes, they have the original the original tapes, the 24 track tapes, have been missing for 20 years and they couldn't find them. So they go into explanations how they were able to unmix and then remix for Whitesnake 1977 to 2024 edition remix. So I highly suggest that you read this. It's quite interesting. All right, so another critique is I showed you how the CDs are, and it says on the spine the order. I don't like the order. It's a minor caveat. of course, at the end, I will say, was this worthwhile buying, because I've listened to this. So the problem is it's not sequential. What I would do is that I would put start with the remix, not the original. I would start with the remix of the first solo album. Then I would put the remix of the second solo album. Chronological, right? Then I would put the two in this order, the remix 2024 of the third solo album, and then all the additional remixes. Makes sense to me. And then I would have this disc 5, the remastered of the original first two CDs, solo CDs, and then last would be the 2024 remaster original mix of Into the Light. And why put the new stuff, the remix, before the remastered? Well, I'll explain why towards the end of the video. All right, so let's talk about the first CD. Is it according to the chronology they've given us? Again, Into the Light. I'm loving this. I said in a recent video of mine in the comment section somewhere, I was chatting with someone, commenting back and forth with someone. I think it's when I did the Rock and Roll Cocktail, where I ranked my favorite David Coverdale and Whitesnake albums in one listing. And I mentioned, someone asked me what I thought about Into the Light. Why didn't I include it? I said, well, it's not something I gravitate towards. I wasn't a big fan of it. Something to that cup of tea. It's not my favorite. It's not my cup of tea kind of thing. But I'm loving this because it has that punch. It has that resonance. The guitar and everything here, the vocals, everything is now so much. There's a clarity. I'm going to go say that word again. The resonance. It resonates. It has the levels, and it has the grit, if you will, or the expectations of what an album should sound like with respect to engineering and production and a good mix. So, like the Black Sabbath most recent remixing of Live Evil, this for me is the definitive edition. This is what I was hoping for. So now, if I'm going to include this in ranking my David Coverdale and Whitesnake albums, this would be in there somewhere. I'm not sure. I'm not going to redo the video, I don't think. But I'm loving this. There's only 2 songs I don't like on here, Wherever You May Go and Years for the Asking. I never liked those songs to begin with, and just kind of bland and mediocre, and they don't really go anywhere for me. But everything else on here is fabulous. She Give Me is great. Reminds me of the first or second solo album. River Song, as I said, is amazing. Don't You Cry, wonderful. Love Is Blind. Slave is amazing. It's got that light and shade. It's got some heft to it. It's heavy at times. Cry for Love and Living on Love is the Whitesnake stuff you expect when Coverdale, being the romantic that he admits that he is in the booklet, right? Great songs. Midnight Blue is fabulous. No, it is not a Foreigner cover, or Lou Gramm, excuse me. Too Many Tears, a cliched title, but it is a good song. Don't Lie to Me is very good. All the Time in the World is a good song. It's not great, but it's good. And Let's Talk It Over is very long. It's 8 minutes and 40 seconds, give or take. I think it's a great song, but I think it could be edited to about 6 minutes. It just kind of drags a little bit, but I do like the song. So this, I'm so glad I got this box set from the perspective that I have this, and I like it now because of the punch that it's been given. But let's see if I'm still going to tell you whether or not if I'm glad, if it's worthwhile that I got it for the whole package. So dynamite. All right, let's talk about the second disc. So again, this is the Into the Light additional remixes and demos. Now, I like, let's see, I'm trying to find, As Long As I Have You is great here, With All of My Heart is good here. The song Lust is quite good. Oh No, Not the Blues Again, really good. Another Fallen Angel is one of the unfinished symphonies, so these are instrumentals. I listen to them all. That's one of my favorites. So is Itchy Finger, another unfinished symphony. It's an instrumental. And then Crazy Boucha is wonderful. I can imagine David putting some excellent kick-ass lyrics with that, but of course he didn't. They're unfinished. I can't see myself listening to all the instrumentals a lot, but those 3 or 4 that I just mentioned, 3, I'm going to listen to quite a bit. I love them. And then the original DC demos, I like all of these as well. Crazy Boucha, which is the original version of Whipping Boy Blues. If You Want Me, Lay Your Love on Me, which is the original version of Lay Down Your Love. So, thumbs up for disc 2. All right. Here is... Not yet. Not yet. All right, here is the third disc. This again, out of chronology. Here is the 2024 remix of North Winds. I like this quite a bit. It's an alternative to the original mix. I like it. Do we need 3 different versions of Time and Again? Probably not. I appreciate it, the effort, though. I like this, as I said. But for me, it's not the definitive edition, and I'll explain more in a bit. I'm glad I have it. So, still a thumbs up. All right. Whitesnake, the remix as well. Now let's start with the tracks that are bonus tracks. The Young Lad Blues. David Coverdale is 16 or 17, I believe, and he sounds great. You have Sunny Days, the original version, which later makes it on to the first album, of course, which this is in my hand. Love Me in the Morning, I Will Love You, Moment in Time, It Would Be Nice, There Was the Time, Why, and I Still Love You. These are great songs. They're unpolished, though, because they're demos, and he's, singing into, not the best equipment, but it's still great. It's worth having. So, and then, like the North Winds 2024 remix, this 2024 remix of Whitesnake, the first debut album, I like it, but it's not the definitive version for me. It's an alternate way to listen to the album, and I appreciate it, and I like it. Still a thumbs up, but for me, not the definitive edition. All right, the next track, the next disc. This has been remastered, but it still sounds flat in places, or overall, really, when you compare it to this. This is where it's at, folks. This is great. This is what I wanted, the same way this is what I wanted for Restless Heart. So, again, I told you this is great. Thumbs up. This, I'm glad I have it in the collection. Maybe it'll grow on me, but it's pretty much a thumbs down. So far of the 6 discs, there's only 1 I don't like out of the first 5 that I presented with you. But I get why it's in the box set. Finally, the original mix, but 2024 remasters of Whitesnake 1977 in North Winds. These are fabulous. I'm so glad I have these in my possession. I said that some of the songs in this collection I listened to twice. It was most of the stuff, or 2/3, on these 2 albums. I love these 2 albums, as I said. To me, this is the definitive edition, in the same vein that you have not a remix, but a remaster. The remix in the Sabbath collection is what we needed. The remix here, again, that I showed you, I like, but it's not the definitive edition. I still like the original mix, I guess because it's in my DNA, and I'm loving the remasters. Am I going to get rid of this? Probably not, because this is in my DNA also, but I'm going to gravitate towards this a lot more. But I will probably listen to this still for nostalgic purposes, and if not, then I will give it to someone who wants it, but I'll probably keep it. So I'm loving this. I fell in love with this when I was in high school. You have the great song "Lady." "Blind Man" is so emotive and you can, it's full of Coverdale's passion. He sings from the heart and the soul, right? Goldie's Place, probably my least favorite song on the album, but I do appreciate it for what it is. Time on My Side is great. Peace, Love, and Man is great. Sunny Days is great. Hole in the Sky is above and beyond fabulous. It's a masterpiece. Such a great, emotive ballad. Whitesnake, the heaviest song on the album, very Deep Purple-esque, right? And Celebration, not the best of songs. I like it. Probably, I like it a tad, a smidge better than Goldie's Place. So the standout tracks are Lady, Blind Man, Time on My Side, Hole in the Sky, Whitesnake. Those are the best songs on the album, but I like most of what's here. It's a wonderful album. It's very good. Approaching great even. So much to like here for the most part. And then North Winds. Keep on Giving Me Love. Sounds like a Whitesnake song. Sounds like a Deep Purple song in so many ways. North Winds, like Blind Man and Hole in the Sky. It's a ballad. You get the singer-songwriter type genre from Coverdale. I could see Elton John singing the song kind of thing. It's a great song. Give Me Kindness is a good song. Time and Again is fabulous. Queen of Hearts is fabulous. I often think of this as a prequel to the Whitesnake song Gambler on Slide It In. Only My Soul is just amazing. Goosebumps, again, like North Wind's a singer-songwriter type song. Say You Love Me, another ballad. The way it ends is I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. What a wonderful song. And then Breakdown is the heaviest track on the album, heavier than Keep on Giving Me Love. And this could easily be a Whitesnake and Deep Purple song. And some of these, if you read the book, David talks about how some of them were intended to be Deep Purple songs. And as you know, some of these go on to be later on revisited as revised or alternate versions on Whitesnake albums. So what a great album. North Winds I prefer better to Whitesnake 1977, but I love them both, if that makes sense. Again, the remastered of the original mix 2024 is the definitive versions for me. I'm so excited to have these, as I said. Again, here's the front. Here's the back. So wonderful that they put this out. Now, let's see. One of the things I don't like about Only My Soul on the remix version is that it's shorter and they take out the violin or cello, the strings section, towards the last third of the song, which to me makes the song in many ways. So again, for those of you who want an alternate version, as I will listen to them as well, worthwhile having. But again, this is where it's at. So this is my favorite part of the collection. And then my other favorite part of the collection is, so let me start over with that. My favorite part of the collection is, as I said, the original mix 2024 remaster of Whitesnake and North Winds, and then the remix, not remastered version of Into the Light. It has the punch and the heft and the heaviness, or the resonance if the songs aren't heavy, that gives it the needed engineering that you want to make a good album, because that's part of the reason of what the ingredients are for making a good album. Now, let me caution you. Well, let me go back and just repeat myself about why the first CD, the remix of this, is so important. Let me just kind of recap. It's more resonant. It has the drive and punch of heavier parts. It has a better drive, a better punch with respect to the heavier parts, or if they're not heavy parts, it just resonates. It sounds better is the best way to say it. Be simplistic. The heavier parts and the non-heavier parts are better defined is another way of saying that. Production is top-notch, which of course is so important. It no longer sounds flat. And whether you're talking about the slower ballady tunes, it still has that wonderful resonance. Okay, so here's what I want to caution you with. I saw on Amazon that there's a European edition or EU edition on Amazon, and it's going for $70. This was, I think, $70 or $80. And I looked at the track listing. It says bonus extra tracks. But when I looked at the track listing for this EU edition, everything on here was the same. So I don't know if it's a scam or Amazon posted the wrong track listing. So be careful. I don't know what the extra tracks or the extra tracks would be. It may be a scam, and it's from a third-party seller. So they may be trying to screw people because this may be going out of print. Who knows? So just be careful. Now let me say this. As I said, is this worthwhile having? You betcha. I'm so glad I bought this. There's only one disc I don't like that much. I don't know if I'll ever listen to it. I did say that the CD listings are out of chronology. That's a minor thing. There are only two songs in this whole collection I don't like of the 5 of the 6 CDs that I like. So that's some good odds. That's some good probability, or that's a great percentage is what I mean. So this is worth having if you're a Whitesnake fan. Now I will say this. These are David Coverdale solo albums, and I'm a little bit I don't know if upset's the right word. Of course, you're going to sell more when you give it the Whitesnake label, band as brand kind of thing. But I really wish that it had just said David Coverdale, the solo albums, formerly of Whitesnake or something like that. You know, I don't think they're going to tour anymore, that kind of thing, because of his voice. Let me talk about the voice for a minute. The voice on the Into the Light remix sounds like the glory days of David. It's that good. It has a Whitesnake-esque to it. It has a Deep Purple-esqueness to it. And it has, of course, all the flavors of what you expect David Coverdale to sound like. So again, check out the decoding software section in here. It's great because it has all the lyrics that you need that you didn't have before, at least to my knowledge, that I don't remember in the original vinyl or the CD that I showed you. Now, there was something else I wanted to say, and now that is eluding me. Let's see if I can recover that idea. I talked about the Restless Heart treatment, whether they did that or not. Well, it is eluding me, folks, so I will call it a day with respect to this video. I highly recommend that if you're a Whitesnake fan, you check this out. It is so, as I said at the beginning of the video, I've already told you, but I'll say it again. Is this collection worthwhile having? It certainly is. God bless. Take care. Have a nice day.